Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking about one of the most serious moments in American history. This is the story of President Dwight D. Eisenhower and his command decisions during the Korean War. This is a story about war or peace and how one man stood on the brink and had to choose. The world after World War II. After World War II ended in 1945, the world hoped for peace. But peace did not last long. Two powerful sides were rising. One side was the United States and its allies. The other side was the Soviet Union and communist countries. This struggle became known as the Cold War. It was a war without direct fighting between the two biggest powers. But many smaller wars happened around the world. One of the most dangerous wars was in Korea. Why Korea was divided? Korea was once one country. But after World War II, it was divided into two parts. North Korea was controlled by communists and supported by the Soviet Union and China. South Korea was supported by the United States and other Western countries. The dividing line was called the 38th parallel. Both sides wanted control of all Korea. This made war almost certain. The Korean War begins in June 1950. North Korean forces crossed the border. They invaded South Korea. The attack was fast and violent. South Korea was close to falling. The United States saw this as a major threat. They believed communism was spreading. President Harry Truman sent American troops to help South Korea. The United Nations also supported this action. The Korean War had begun. A war without victory. The fighting was brutal. Thousands of soldiers died on both sides. At first, North Korea pushed South Korea back. Then U.S. forces pushed North Korea almost to the Chinese border. That caused China to enter the war. Chinese troops pushed the United States and South Korea back again. Soon, the war reached a deadlock near the 38th parallel. By 1952, the war had no clear winner. People were tired. Soldiers were dying. The world feared the war could grow larger. Enter Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1952. Dwight D. Eisenhower ran for president. He was a famous World War II general. People trusted him. During his campaign, he made a powerful promise. He said, "I will go to Korea." Americans believed Eisenhower could end the war. In January 1953, Eisenhower became president. Now the responsibility was his. A president on the brink. When Eisenhower took office, the Korean War had been going on for nearly 3 years. More than 30,000 American soldiers had died. The war was costing money, lives, and hope. Eisenhower faced a hard question. Should the United States continue fighting, or should it seek peace? This was not an easy choice. The nuclear question. Eisenhower had access to a terrifying weapon, the atomic bomb. The United States had already used nuclear weapons in World War II. Some military leaders believed nuclear weapons could force an end to the Korean War. Eisenhower understood the danger. Using nuclear weapons could end the war quickly, but it could also start World War III. China and the Soviet Union might respond. Millions could die. This was the greatest command decision Eisenhower faced. Eisenhower's military experience. Eisenhower was not new to war. He had seen the destruction of World War II. He knew war was not glorious. It was painful and deadly. Because of this, he was careful. He believed nuclear weapons should only be used as a last resort. He wanted peace, but not weakness. Pressure from all sides. Eisenhower faced pressure from many directions. Some Americans wanted the war to end at any cost. Others wanted to fight harder and defeat communism completely. Military leaders wanted more power to attack China. Some politicians warned that losing Korea would make America look weak. Eisenhower had to balance all of this. A secret strategy. Eisenhower decided to use a quiet but strong strategy. He allowed rumors to spread. These rumors suggested the United States might use nuclear weapons if the war did not end. This was a warning, not a promise. At the same time, Eisenhower pushed for peace talks. He showed strength, but also patience. Visiting Korea true to his promise, Eisenhower went to Korea. He spoke to soldiers. He saw the battlefield. He listened to commanders. This visit helped him understand the reality of the war. He knew continuing the war would mean more deaths without victory. Negotiating peace. Peace talks had already started before Eisenhower became president, but they were slow and difficult. The biggest problem was prisoners of war. Some prisoners did not want to return to their home countries. Communist leaders demanded they be forced to return. Eisenhower supported voluntary return. This delayed peace, but Eisenhower stayed firm. The role of China and the Soviet Union behind the scenes, global politics played a major role. The Soviet Union had a new leader after Joseph Stalin died in 1953. The Soviets were more open to ending the war. China was also tired of fighting. Eisenhower's firm stance and quiet pressure helped move talks forward. The Korean armistice on July 27, 1953, an agreement was finally reached. This agreement was called an armistice, not a peace treaty. The fighting stopped. Korea remained divided near the 38th parallel. The war was over, but peace was still fragile. Eisenhower chose not to use nuclear weapons. He chose limited war, careful pressure, and negotiation. This decision saved countless lives. It also showed that power could be used wisely, not just violently. Criticism and praise. Some people criticized Eisenhower. They said he did not win the war fully. They said Korea remained divided. Others praised him. They said he avoided a larger war. They said he protected the world from nuclear disaster. History largely views Eisenhower's decision as wise. Lessons from the Brink. Eisenhower's leadership during the Korean War teaches us important lessons. First, power must be controlled. Having strong weapons does not mean they should always be used. Second, experience matters. Eisenhower's understanding of war helped him avoid disaster. Third, peace often requires patience. The legacy of Eisenhower left office in 1961. He warned Americans about the military-industrial complex. He feared endless war and uncontrolled military power. His actions in Korea showed that warning was real. He had stood on the brink and stepped back. Why this story matters today: the world still faces conflict. Nuclear weapons still exist. Leaders today face the same kinds of choices Eisenhower faced. War or peace, strength or restraint. The Korean War reminds us how close the world can come to disaster. Final thoughts: Eisenhower did not choose an easy path. He chose a responsible one. He showed that leadership is not about winning at all costs. It is about protecting humanity. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next episode of Command Decisions: Presidents on the Brink. Thank you for watching.